Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. Got a lot to talk about today, and we're going to be talking the entire day. We're going to talk a couple hours in this session, and then we're going to come back in our evening session, and we're going to expound upon some of the subject matters that we're going to be talking about in this particular video. And so the Cowboys, I believe, have a lot of decisions to make in this particular game. I really do believe that they're going to have to decide, like, what are they really trying to do? What are they really trying to do? Because Dan Orlovsky today said the same thing I said yesterday. And I know it's not, I mean, we would really have to be dumb. It's amazing to me when you have a world where the facility, who supposedly prides themselves on not being like the Skip Baylesses of the world and having these debate shows and having these sensational takes. I mean, that's what they said they were going to be all about. And all of a sudden, here we go. Now they're starting to say some of the most outlandish things, like this thing about Dak Prescott quitting on a team. And I'm going to come back this evening because I really hadn't seen anything other than where James Jones, and I'll bring that up here shortly, where James Jones, he's going to apologize about the Dak Prescott thing. but I don't see anywhere where he truly, I haven't seen yet where he truly is going to give that apology that he really needs to get, because according to Shady McCoy said with your chest when he said Dak quit on the team. And then he asked the question, is it off the bone, dog? And then we find out that Dak's hamstring is halfway off the bone. It's kind of amazing. You put your foot in your mouth and you too quick to speak, and now you got to come back. And now you got to come back and give this huge apology, which I'll be honest with you, I don't expect the apology to be all that huge. I don't expect it to be all that huge, because a lot of times these guys, this is what it's all about to them. You know, they can say anything they want to say. They can say anything they want to say, and it seems like it's no big deal. You know, it's on to the next story. But, you know, I think when we start questioning men's manhood, questioning women's manhood, and they get injured, and we have the gall to say that a person quit on a team. I don't know about y'all, but I just don't take that lightly. I mean, you're really saying something. I mean, that's a personal shot. That's a personal shot, man. And it's amazing to me to let you know what kind of hatred that people actually have for Dak Prescott. To let you know what kind of hatred people have, I'm actually surprised that there have been people in my comments, and they have literally been saying that there's no need for James Jones to apologize. So you're telling me that you say something that's not true, because if I say something that's not true, or if I make a mistake on something, the one thing you're not going to have to worry about with me is I'm going to come back and apologize. I mean, this can't be just entertainment. There has to be some integrity to this. There has to be some integrity, because if there's no integrity, can you really trust what's being said? There has to be integrity. And so I'm very interested in that. And I think, let's see, I got a whole entire agenda here. And so since we're talking about James Jones, I may go ahead and go to that. But I kind of want to go, I kind of want to let everything kind of unfold into each other. I want to talk about today the James Jones apology. And I'm going to expand on that this afternoon, because I want to see where that goes. And then I want to talk about the Dak Prescott injury. I think it's important to talk about the Dak Prescott injury. And then I got a couple of more topics. I want to talk about, as you saw in the headline, I want to talk about Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, and then I want y'all to help me answer the question: should we win? Should the Cowboys win? I think that's a very serious discussion that we need to be asking ourselves. And I don't mean that they should not try to win per se, but I think it's a legitimate question, because I think this is the question that Jerry Jones is faced with. I really do. I think it's the question that Jerry Jones is faced with. I think Jerry Jones is faced with the question of, should we win? Because this has a lot of implications whether we realize it or not. And so I want to go to the first topic here. I want to see on X if there's been anything about James Jones. Is there anything about James Jones? I really don't see anything other than the apology he made yesterday. In case you didn't see his apology, and I was off the air by that time. Hold on. Let's look at James Jones' apology. You can't use any of the facilities material on YouTube, because they'll copyright strike you, which I find to be I find it to be very, very strange that they don't do that because everyone else does. Because in actuality, when you let people like remix and share your content and monetize your content, it only helps you, because that means that everyone gets to kind of, you get a lot more popular like that. So I want to see. Now I'll show you what I said yesterday. This is Emmanuel Acho. For all of you people who don't think that Emmanuel Acho owes Dak Prescott an apology, he does owe Dak Prescott, and he owes Dak Prescott a huge apology. Not only him, Chase Daniels, who should be ashamed of himself. He's a quarterback. And as a quarterback, he actually let James Jones sit on that stage and say that you don't need your legs to throw, that a hamstring shouldn't bother a quarterback throwing the football. That is literally insane. I'm not even a quarterback, and I know that you have to push off. You're going to have to scramble. You're going to have to do all kinds of things. You don't want to be messing around with those hamstrings, man. Those things, if they get out of control, they get out of control, and they will literally kill your career. So this is Emmanuel Acho yesterday. Emmanuel Acho says, James Jones, I believe you owe Dak Prescott a massive, are we seeing this? A massive apology tomorrow at the facility. He said, I told you to wait till them MRIs came out. Now, I'll be honest with you. My problem is I don't think this should have been a question at all. I don't even think this should have been a question. And so right after, he's talking about, because Jane Slater comes back and she reports what happened. Dak Prescott has a very serious hamstring injury. And there's been some doctors who have been weighing in. And one of the doctors weighed in, and he was talking about the particular hamstring injury that Dak Prescott has and how very, very serious it is. I mean, you can see this right here. See, you can see this right here. Look. Tom Christ, PT, DPT, OCS. I'm thinking he's some kind of doctor, but this is not the one I was talking about the other day. But it says, ouch. And yes, typically more than 4 weeks, but does usually heal back to 100%. Look at this. The pull from the hamstring creates a fracture at the, ischial tuberosity, a bony prominence on the ischium bone that the hamstring tendons attach to. Look at this. I can't read this the way that I would like to, but this is pretty serious. This is pretty serious, and it's crazy that James Jones, before an MRI, is talking such crazy nonsense. But I told y'all why he's talking the crazy nonsense, because he's a Mike McCarthy apologist. And he knows that Mike McCarthy is terrible in particular. He's been terrible this year. So this is very, very very, very serious stuff. Very serious stuff. And so that's why when you start talking about injuries and things of that nature, man, you don't need to be talking. One thing you don't need to be commenting on is another man's injury, another woman's injury. You do not need to be talking about that kind of stuff, because you never truly know what someone is. You don't really know what they're going through. You don't. I posted this. I sent this to Emmanuel Acho yesterday. And of course, I'm pretty sure he didn't probably see it, but he was probably bombarded with thousands of these because they destroyed James Jones on this entire issue. And you look at Emmanuel, I said, thank you, Emmanuel Acho. I said, at Chase Daniels, you should be ashamed of yourself. He should. As a quarterback, not explaining how important a quarterback's legs are, even if they are not running like Lamar Jackson. Shameful. Absolutely shameful. And I can't believe that I can't believe that Chase Daniels sit up there and said that. But, it's crazy. I don't expect a whole lot different from Chase Daniels. I don't know. Maybe he's glad he's had a job. I mean, he's got a job or whatever the case may be. But, this is crazy. And I like what this one guy posted. And I may do this in a follow-up video. His name is Visuals. This guy, what he said is so powerful. He said, look, y'all are effing disgusting, honestly. He says, let me tell you a little something about that man. 4th round draft pick, exceeded everyone's expectations. Lost his mom to cancer. Lost his brother to suicide. Tore his ankle off, then proceeded to try to put back together on the field. How do you fix your mouth to compare a hamstring pull that you had to what this man has went through? And he didn't quit on any of these things. He didn't quit. Dak Prescott didn't miss a beat when his brother committed suicide. And it's just like what Skip Bayless did. Skip Bayless comes out talking about that Dak Prescott is soft and all of these things. This is crazy when folks do this stuff. And when I see people agreeing with this kind of behavior, you're part of what's wrong with this entire country. This social media era has unleashed a level of hatred in this world that is unprecedented. Terry Washington said, show that they have that competitive mindset. Oh yeah, you're talking about to win. Okay, hold on with that, Terry. We're going to come back to that. We're going to work our way towards should they win, because I think that's a big topic. Warren Miles, appreciate you here. Hey, let's hold on. This is a big topic on the should we win, because I want to really dive into that as we start. You'll see I'm going to let all of this flow into each other. We should evaluate the talent. I want to see a lot of young guys out there. I want to see Deuce get some carries. Yes, I'm with you. I saw that man try to put his ankle bone back in so he could keep playing in a Giant game. Yes, it was crazy. Hey, G, what's going on, Nisi? Amen. Say it with your chest. That's exactly what I said. That's what I sent to James Jones. I said the apology needs to be as epic as the rant. Say it with your chest. That's what Shady McCoy said. And we know he's shady. We already know he fits his name to the T. He fits his name to the T. And he was loving every minute of it. And so, the Dak Prescott issue. There's a lot of talk now that if you're kind of paying attention to what these doctors are saying, it doesn't mean that even if, because it's partially torn off the bone, it's not totally ripped off the bone like Tyron Smith's was. And so I've been listening to some of the doctors, and they are saying that it could possibly heal and he could be back in 4 weeks, depending upon what the second opinion says. So it could heal and be back in 4 weeks. And so the issue is, my question is when I started looking at this is, because I thought before, I said it before, I was shocked that they said Dak was on injured reserve, because I know what injured reserve means. And James Jones was speaking too fast, because I think that James Jones thought that Dak was on injured reserve too. And so rather than him trying to get all the clarification, which is strange to me because as a football player, I would think he'd be more in the know than I am. He was talking as if Dak quit. And what he was mad about is that Dak said this team sucks. It does, because his ex-coach is the coach. And so he's saying that Dak being on IR means he quit on the team. And come to find out, Dak isn't even on IR. Dak is trying to get a second opinion. because Dak Prescott is trying to get back on the field sooner than later. Sooner than later. And so it makes me wonder, just depending upon what he finds out the second time, because I see what Dak is trying to do. But I also understand these hamstring issues. And I mean, one of my first questions to us is, I mean, the team is 3-5. Should Dak Prescott come back after 4 weeks? Because it'll be after 4 weeks that Dak Prescott will come back. And so the team right now is 3-5, I'm thinking. Wait, is it 3-5? The team right now is 3-5, I believe. 3-5, I believe. Let's see. Hold on a second. Y'all forgive me. I'm 3-5. That's what I thought. Because we've had a bye week. I mean, everybody's schedule. I mean, everybody's record is kind of odd. Some people are further ahead and some people are further behind. So the Cowboys are 3-5. They are 3-5. And so if they were to lose, let's just say the Cowboys were to lose the next 4 games, and there are some questions about maybe Dak Prescott's leg. If there are some questions about it, do we think he should risk coming back off that hamstring if by time Dak is fully healthy, which wouldn't be until let's see here. So they have next. The Cowboys have the Eagles. Let's look at this real quick. The Cowboys have the Eagles, the Texans, the Commanders, the Giants. So Dak would not be back. And I'm thinking, let's see here. Thought there was an extra week. There is. I think there's an extra week after, because, a lot of people complain that the Dallas Cowboys get 2 bye weeks because they're going to play the Giants on Thanksgiving Day, and then they're going to turn around and they're going to be off to December the 9th. So in essence, that would literally give Dak Prescott almost 6 weeks off? Almost 6 weeks from the time of the injury. And so my question to us, my first question for the day is, should Dak Prescott come back? Should he come back if he's healthy? Because what if you lose all those games? You're 3-9 by the time Dak Prescott comes back. I mean, by the time he's fully healthy, you're 3-9. You would have to go on the craziest run, and you would still only make 8-9. And I don't think 8-9 is going to get you in the playoffs as a wild card. So my question is, should Dak come back if he gets fully healthy by the bingo game? Nisi says Mike McCarthy needs to do some reflecting. Had I worked on a run game and stuck with it, would our franchise quarterback be injured? Would our wide receivers be developing better? Would our defense be so injured? Powerful point, Nisi. I said that yesterday about the quarterback in particular. Would Dak Prescott be hurt had Mike McCarthy handed the ball off like you're about to watch him do with Cooper Rush? And we're going to get to that in a minute. Because it's the only possible way. I don't even want to say win. Because a lot of people are acting like Cooper Rush is about to come out here and just be world beaters. I mean, it's crazy. I debunked this yesterday. And we still got people coming out talking about this historical 5-1 start. What are we talking about? This is absolutely crazy. When you look at Cooper Rush's stats, especially the last 2 games he started, Cooper Rush didn't even throw for 115 yards against the Rams. The game against the Eagles was terrible. And that defense during that run was giving up a stingy 15 points per game. That defense in 2022 was the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I shouldn't say the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs, because that defense right now is way better. But Kansas City Chiefs have been so stingy. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is the first team that has come along in the last few weeks and even been able to score 3 touchdowns on them. Nobody else had did that the whole season. The Cowboys were stingy in 2022. They were giving up a league almost leading 15 points per game. Boy, that defense closed in. They closed in. I don't even know if we have the players to do that right now. I don't even know if we have the defense to even do such a thing. Because it wasn't Cooper Rush. It was a combination of Mike McCarthy saying, run the ball. A combination of Dan Quinn saying, guys, Cooper Rush, we can't let him get behind, because if Cooper Rush gets behind, that means he's going to have to throw the ball the way he did against the Eagles. 38 times, 18 completions. We put Cooper Rush in that situation, and it's toast. So it wasn't even Cooper Rush as much as people are in denial. He was the quarterback, but it was not Cooper Rush who won those games. It was a team effort, which is what Mike McCarthy should have been working for all along, knowing he has a deficiency in talent. Is really going to, oh, no. Niecy, you know that ain't happening. You know that ain't happening. And watch, man, if Mike McCarthy come out here with read options with Cooper Rush, it'll tell y'all everything you need to know. Mike McCarthy doesn't understand the talent that he has on the field. Victor says our defense saved Cooper Rush. A lot of people don't understand that. And we don't have that defense. We don't have that defense. And even more so, we don't have Dan Quinn. I mean, I think Dan Quinn is a scoundrel. I mean, he's a shrewd operator. But he can coach defense. He really can. He can coach defense. And if you give him the horses, he can run. I mean, he can do some things for you if you get him the horses. And so when you think about it, we got to be very careful in how we're thinking, because we don't have what we need to help Cooper Rush do what he did the first time. And it's really going to, I believe it's really is about to be a reality check for these Cooper Rush apologists who think, as I call him, the mythical unicorn. I was looking at my comments today, and I still can't explain it. The Cooper Rush, Dallas Cowboy loving, Dak Prescott hating Cowboy fans, they cannot explain to you if you ask them. So if Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott, if he's equal to Dak Prescott, if he's even a step under Dak Prescott, why hasn't any team ever come in and offered the Joneses a 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th? We ain't even talk about 1, 2, 3s. 4, 5, 6, or 7th. Why haven't they offered that for Cooper Rush? I'm not knocking Cooper Rush. I'm just telling you he is what he is. He's a backup. That's what he is. He's been a career backup. Mike McCarthy said he's a well-respected backup. He isn't even a starting quarterback who became a backup. He's a backup, and that's all anybody sees him as. Because if he was even a top-tier backup, there would be teams offering him money to be a top-tier backup. Because with so many quarterback injuries, y'all notice what teams are doing? Teams are now trying to get top-tier backups. They are. I'm telling y'all about the Cleveland Browns. I'm gonna tell you right now. Jameis Winston. Let me tell y'all something. Jameis Winston about to ball out for the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston sees this as another opportunity to be a starting quarterback in this league. And I think he's going to cash in on it. I think he's going to try to cash in on it. Because people may not realize it, man, but the backup quarterback position in the NFL, it's a very coveted position in a sense. I mean, if you got a backup quarterback that's really, really good, I mean, that's what people want. And some guy says to me today, he says, well, if Cooper Rush comes in and wins 2 games, then what? Then what? Isn't that what he's supposed to do? If he wins 2 games, isn't he the backup quarterback? Do you get backup quarterbacks, y'all, to lose? Or do you get backup quarterbacks to win until your starting quarterback comes back? I don't understand this rationale of how people think. It's crazy. It is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And so I actually would love for Cooper Rush to come in and I'd actually like him to win all 4 games. Wouldn't y'all? I would like Cooper Rush to win all 4 games. Because that means when Dak Prescott come back, they would be 7-5. And we don't have to worry about it. Dak Prescott is getting back on the field if they're 7-5 and he's fully healthy. Because if we could do that with Cooper Rush, then imagine what we're going to do now that we put this thing together with Dak Prescott. And so, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, people's mind, it just doesn't work right when you're talking about this whole thing about Cooper Rush. But it really brings me to a question. And I want to go here now. Oh, yeah, Nisi says, yep, look at what Geno has done. And Geno was a backup. And now look at Geno Smith. Somebody said, no, he's going to be the starter. He's going to be the starter. Nisi, you're 100% right. This fan base always wants somebody to take Dak Prescott's place. It's not going to happen. I can tell you now, it's definitely not going to happen over the next this season and the next 4 years. And that's why I don't understand the hatred and the continued complaining. Because if you're complaining, you're just going to complain for the next 4 years. And they'll complain even if he wins. They'll complain even if he wins. And so, you know, it makes me wonder if the Cowboys should Dak Prescott come back. I mean, should he come back if this team hasn't won a game when he's fully healthy? And I think Dak Prescott will come back. I do. I think even if they don't win a game, I think Dak Prescott will, because I think he just has a pure, and that's what these guys like James Jones, who's not even in the stratosphere of where Dak Prescott is in mental toughness. Dak's mental toughness is off the chart. I think he will come back. I don't know. I think Jerry and them might try to fight. I think Jerry Jones may try to fight and might try to fight him on coming back. The 70s fan, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm a little tired of it too. But I'm going to show you something that Dan Orlovsky said this morning. I'm telling y'all, when Dan Orlovsky starts making sense about the Dallas Cowboys, you know it's serious. I mean, you know it is absolutely serious when Dan Orlovsky, who's been making way too much sense all year long on the Dallas Cowboys, he's the one who said that Jerry Jones set Dak Prescott up for failure. Dan Orlovsky said that when everyone else was talking noise. So wait till I let you hear what he said this morning about this thing with Cooper Rush. JBL says, leave then, LOL. I'm telling us, man, that it just makes me wonder, because I said it yesterday, and Dan Orlovsky's going to make a similar point about this thing with Cooper Rush. But my question is, should we win? There are some serious ramifications here. So the Cowboys are 3-5. The Cowboys are 3-5. Who thinks it's possible at their current state for the Cowboys to go? Okay, so we got 9 games left. 7-1. Can the Cowboys go 7-1? Or 7-2, I'm sorry. Can they go 7-2? Can they go 8-1? There's 9 games left. The Cowboys have got to make a run out of this world now. They have to make a run out of this world. And you think about this. As we talk about the Cooper Rush thing. Let's look at the games here, y'all. Y'all tell me what you think. We're going to talk more about this as the week goes on. We're going to hone in on the Eagles game. That's the game we're going to hone in on starting tonight. But I ask you this. Nisi says Jerry's his own worst enemy. Yeah. And I don't even know if he's his own worst enemy. I mean, Nisi, we've been talking about this. Jerry knows what he's doing. We don't like it. But Jerry knows what he's doing. Playing demolition. Don't explode it. Imploding it. Problem is, what we're noticing is that what's making it explode. See, Jerry wanted an organic tanking. Well, I'm going with young guys. We're going to do the best we can do. We'll make the playoffs because this team healthy probably would have made the playoffs. But what started happening, notice what I said, healthy. The players started dropping like flies. And now what was a planned demolition and an implosion because of the injuries. We're seeing shrapnel fly off. And it's an implosion, but a partial explosion because the injuries have made it worse than what it was supposed to be. See, this team, healthy, y'all. Listen what I'm saying. Healthy. This team could have went probably 10-6 at the worst. 10-6. This team with health problems is what we're looking at now. Healthy. This team probably beats the 49ers. Healthy. This team probably beats the Falcons. Healthy. This team doesn't beat the Detroit Lions. They are a juggernaut right now. They are a juggernaut right now. We're not beating them. But we beat the injury-riddled San Francisco 49ers. Because if we have our full defensive squad, Brock Purdy isn't running out of the backfield. He's not running 8 for 56. He's not doing that to us in the third quarter. You got D-Law. You got Michael Parsons. I mean, it would have been even harder for them to complete a pass. You would have had Deron Bland on the outside. Marquise Bell probably worked in somewhere. So it would have been way harder for a team like the 49ers who are injury riddled. And there's no way the Falcons beat us with a full. I mean, we were not even playing with a full team. And you take away that dumb fake punt, we probably still beat the Falcons. So this team healthy was supposed to go 10-6. 11-5, maybe if you still 1 or 2. This team gets into the playoffs knowing they're not going to win unless they go on some crazy run. And so for Jerry, that would have been a soft rebuild. You got all young players. You got your 3 studs that you're saying you're building on. Dak, Micah, CD. You're good enough to beat the mediocre, the bad teams. You get in the playoffs, and then you get a soft rebuild. That was the plan that Jerry had, plan demolition. But what's happening is in the implosion, the injuries are causing an explosion. Because you look even worse without D-Law, Michael Parsons, Deron Bland, Eric Kendricks, Nealon. I mean, it's just like the list goes on. Carlson. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on and on. You're missing Brandon Cooks. Man, you don't think this offense needs Brandon Cooks? Because Brandon Cooks is still better. Now, we know Brandon Cooks for sure is better than Jalen Tolbert. And Dak Prescott was starting. I noticed in the first couple of games, Dak seemed to have a little connection with Brandon Cooks. So we're watching a team that was supposed to go into fit into Jerry's plan, Nisi. But the problem is the plan is backfired on him. Because, see, Jerry, the part he doesn't understand is Jerry, to me, is not a football guy. He owns a football team, but he's not a football guy. Because I'm going to tell you all what championship teams do. You know what championships teams do? Championship teams, they not only want starters, they want depth. That's how you build a championship team. You don't want a team that if the front line fails, we're done. You want a team that if some of the front line gets hurt, we got enough depth to where we can continue on. And so what happened to the Cowboys and his so-called, his soft rebuild? You're going with all young players. Well, who's their backups? Who are their backups? Jeremy official says, J-Omi official says, yeah, but if Cooper Rush comes in and outperforms Dak and turn the season around, can he win the quarterback job? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm not saying there's not a way he can't come in and turn the season around. I'm saying there's no way he's going to come in and take Dak Prescott's job. Because I want you to think about what you just said, J. Army. And this is why I keep challenging everybody on even what you're saying. So you're telling me that Cooper Rush is going to take this team, this coaching staff, and Jerry has been crazy the whole time. But Jerry off the chain this year. I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen Jerry be this off the chain. Man, Jerry off the chain right now. So you're telling me, J. Army, Cooper Rush going to take this team and he's going to turn the season around with Mike McCarthy's poor play calling, poor play design, poor situational football. He's going to turn this team around. If Cooper Rush turns this team around and wins 4 of these next 4 games or 3 of these next 4 games, do y'all not realize this is not an indictment on Jerry Jones? This is an indictment on the entire NFL. Because if Cooper Rush can turn this team around, you got to explain, and everyone has to explain. You're telling me the entire NFL who watched Cooper Rush go 5-1, who's watched him over the preseasons up until this one, they've watched Cooper Rush and drafted quarterbacks over Cooper Rush, signed free agent quarterbacks over Cooper Rush, have backups on their team that lose over Cooper Rush? You telling me Cooper Rush gonna turn this team around? And the NFL has neglected this man that bad? I want you to hear what you're saying. I just want you to hear what you're saying. Because this isn't an indictment on Dak Prescott. It isn't an indictment on the Dallas Cowboy franchise. It's an indictment on the league if Cooper Rush is really as good as as people are. This mythological unicorn. If. Okay. We're going to see what if look like. Because I'll tell you this, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Cooper Rush can't take Dak's job. Please stop, people. Oh, no. Entertain it, Jay. I can't entertain it, but entertain it. I've heard Michael Irvin say if a person comes in and does the job better than the previous person, takes that person's job because they earned it. No, CJ Army. I don't even want to hear the Michael Irvin talk. See, I'm going to go above what Michael Irvin talking about because you don't understand what you're saying. This isn't a Dallas Cowboy question you're asking no more. This isn't a Dallas Cowboy you're asking anymore, J. Army. And Michael Irvin is a bona fide liar if he's saying that. He's saying that. Yeah, you say that about them lower tier players. No, you don't say that about upper tier players. Even Jimmy Johnson had a rule. If he got mad at a starter, he'd fire a third stringer. But you don't cut Emmitt Smith. You don't cut Michael Irvin. You don't cut Troy Aikman. No, you don't get to do that, Jimmy. No, especially once you start winning some chips and you start getting some wins on that thing. And especially when you pay a quarterback $60 million. I mean, Cooper Rush better go undefeated before that conversation even starts. And I'm not talking about 4 games. He better turn this whole season around and go undefeated. Jerry needs to learn the word contingency. Yes, contingency plan. Mike and DQ were putting depth on both sides, and then the meddling started with the GM owner. That's how you build championship teams, Nisi. Depth. And if your team consists of all the young guys who were the depth, then who's the depth for the depth? Who's the depth? Jerry literally played against the odds. He let all the depth go. He let all the veterans go, relied on the depth, but has no depth for the depth. He has no depth for the depth because even the depth is getting hurt. Okay, Deron Bland, Kalen Carson. Well, what happens when Kalen Carson get hurt? Therein lies the problem. You have nothing to rely on. Bill Bates, that's my question. Is winning any good now? Because, J. Army, I'm not criticizing you because I'm about to come back and hit on the point that you're making. I'm going to come back and hit on the point that you're making later on, and you're going to see what I'm saying and how it makes sense. Jerry Jones is like a box of Fruit Loops. What's going on, Andre? Andre, what's going on? It all started when Jerry had legal problems. Dad had legal problems. CeeDee Lamb didn't come to, and not adding pieces on the offseason. The Cowboys, if you think about it, Andre, their entire offseason was just a bunch of nonsense. Just all kinds of stupid stuff. Y'all think about it. Even Dak's false accuser. It was just nothing but distraction after distraction in the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. It's just been a mess of a season. And the coaching staff and Jerry not being focused. And Andre, how can the coaching staff be focused? They're all on one-year deals. Brian Broaddus said something, and I think Brian Broaddus is really talking about some inside information. Brian Broaddus says that when coaches get on the last year of their deal, they're trying to buckle down and make sure their positions do well. But the problem is the Cowboys are so talent stricken that even the position coaches can't really do the things they want to do, because Brian Broaddus says what happens is when coaches get on the last year of their deal, he said they start making phone calls and they start asking, like, who's hiring? I mean, what does it look like? Does it look like this person's going to be fired or hired or move on? Because they want to try to jockey themselves in position to get these things. Niecy said, we're not saying he's Nick Foles. Yeah. Yes. And you think about Nick Foles. Cooper Rush doesn't even have this going for him, Niecy. Nick Foles was a starter that became a backup. He was a starter that became a backup. And we keep talking about Cooper Rush. I don't understand this mythological talk, and no one refuses. I debunked this yesterday. No one wants to go and look at the tape. Cooper Rush literally declined. He declined. He didn't, it wasn't an incline. It was a decline. I do not understand the Cooper Rush talk. It's not talking bad about him. It's analysis. We're analyzing. We're giving you the facts. Cooper Rush is what he is. He's not a great backup. Stop saying he's a great backup even. He's not a great backup. He's a good backup. He's a good backup. And I don't even know if good enough, because I'm telling you, people are setting themselves up for a letdown. And I'm going to tell y'all, watch, mark my words, Andre, Niecy, y'all mark my words. Mark my words. When Cooper Rush gets the spam beat out of his head by these other teams, they're going to give Cooper Rush every single excuse that they would never give Dak Prescott. Now watch how we double talk. Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush can take Dak Prescott's spot. But then if he gets beat, well, he's the backup. Wait, hold on a second. But you said he's better. Which one is it? Is he better or the backup? See, with Dak Prescott, we always get to move the goalpost. We always get to move the goalpost when it comes to Dak Prescott. But everybody else, they're going to get every excuse. Cooper Rush is going to get every excuse to lose this game. Every excuse. Rush won't do much different. I don't see how he does. I mean, we're not talking about a Pro Bowl level team. And the biggest problem for this team this year has been coaching. The players have been an addition to it, but so many things. Don't be surprised if Cooper Rush has a great game. He can throw. Oh, yeah, he can throw. But let me let you in on a little secret. Let me let you in on a little secret, Andre. You know who else knows that Cooper Rush can throw? Kellen Moore. Do you know Kellen Moore already knows that Cooper Rush can throw? But not only, dog, watch this, y'all. I'm going to show you where true coaching comes in. And we're about to see what Kellen Moore is all about. Because watch this. I got news for y'all. Y'all might not realize this. Kellen Moore is about to put together an audition tape for the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job. Kellen Moore is about to put together an audition tape for the Dallas Cowboys coaching job, the head coaching job, because Jerry always, the intent was always to move Kellen Moore up to the head coaching job. But Mike McCarthy took advantage of a situation. I want y'all to see what he did. When they did that second 12-6, was it 12-5 season? When they did that second one and they failed in the playoffs and everybody was saying they should have run the ball. Y'all remember how Mike McCarthy finagled his way into the play calling and Kellen Moore got fired? What did he say, y'all? I just want to run the D ball. That's what he said. He threw Kellen Moore under the bus. He threw Kellen Moore under the bus and rolled backwards over him so that he could force Jerry's hand in the court of public opinion to get rid of Kellen Moore. But y'all better understand something. Jerry Jones still has an affinity for Kellen Moore, Andre. And I'm going to tell you what Kellen Moore is doing. Boy, he about to put together a tape out of this world. Kellen Moore about to put a tape together out of this world. And he knows, Andre, not only that Kellen Moore can throw, he knows the throws he can make. He knows the throws he can make. And Kellen Moore, right now, I promise you, he's a part of the defensive plan this week. They have Kellen Moore in the defensive room this week. We're going to learn football on this channel. Some folks just be talking. We're going to talk facts. This is common sense. I promise you, Andre, Kellen Moore is in the defensive strategy this week. And he's telling them, okay, they don't have Dak Prescott. Guess who knows the weaknesses of CeeDee Lamb? Guess who knows the routes he runs the best? Guess who knows how to stop CeeDee Lamb? Guess who knows all of this, y'all? Kellen Moore is in that defensive room this week. And this is why, see, we don't understand what we're saying. These folk who talking about, Cooper Rush is about to come in here and he going to change life for the Cowboys. There are 2 games on this schedule y'all better pay attention to over the next 3 weeks. There are 2 games, the Eagles and the Commanders. And both of them have ex-offensive coordinator, ex-defensive coordinator. Y'all better miss me. I would love for Cooper Rush to come in here and win 4 games. And then Dak Prescott comes back against the Bengals, fully healthy. And then we get rolling like we did in 2022. And then I'll say thank you again, Cooper Rush. You went 5-1 the first time. You went 4-0 the second time. Okay, back to the bench. Dak Prescott, they learned something from the play calling. Let's get rolling. We're fully healthy. Let's go on a run. Oh, I would love for that to be that fairy tale ending. But I got news for y'all. Kellen Moore is auditioning for the head coaching job of the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't care what anyone says. He's auditioning for that job. And Jerry likes Kellen Moore. Jerry didn't want to let Kellen Moore go. Mike McCarthy was brilliant. He blamed the loss on Kellen Moore. He blamed it on him. He forced it. And so Jerry said, okay, we'll let go of Kellen Moore. You get the play calling. What did he do? You want to know why this issue is happening now with Mike McCarthy? Because he got the play calling. And then last year, he did some things he was supposed to do. But as we got further down the season, the man who said he wanted to run the ball, he didn't run the ball. He didn't run the ball. And not only not run the ball, he refused to run the ball consistently, and they couldn't stop the run. Jay Army said, I'm sorry for saying that. I apologize for saying Cooper Rush can take his job. I just feel like when Cooper is at the helm, the team plays more conservative. They run the ball. Jay Army, no, I'm not criticizing you. I'm going where you are. I'm going where you are. But I'm also saying if Cooper Rush does what people are saying he's going to do, there's an indictment on this league. Because if you're telling me that Kellen Moore can win games if you just give him a running game, which isn't it amazing? That's what they're saying about every quarterback. I mean, Andy, we sometimes talk like some of these things are like rocket science. You give Dak Prescott a running game, he's Patrick Mahomes. Well, they gave Patrick Mahomes a running game. Who is he now? I'm telling us and I understand what you're saying because, see, I talked about this yesterday, Jay Orman. I don't know if you were on, but I talked about this. Limitations breed creativity. Limitations breed creativity. When I got Dak Prescott, I'm saying the entire playbook is open, and I'm blinded by the talent. I'm like, man, he can make every throw. He can get out of trouble. He can roll out. Well, this year he's been having some issues, but he can roll out. He's cerebral. He makes all of these adjustments at the line. He's Dak bleeping Prescott. We can do whatever we want to do. Cooper Rush comes in, J. Army, skirt, pump the brakes. There are 3 throws, maybe 4, we know Cooper Rush excels at. He may even throw these 3 or 4 passes better than Dak Prescott, better than Patrick Mahomes. We know 3 or 4 throws we know Cooper Rush can throw. We also know we can't put the ball in Cooper Rush's hands 30, 35, 40, because if we do, disaster. But how about we run the plays? We're going to close the whole playbook, and we're only going to run the Cooper Rush package. We're going to run the Cooper Rush package. We got 30 plays, and we don't even want him to run all of them. We got 30 possible plays for Cooper Rush. The plan is for Cooper Rush to only do 15 or 20 of them. And we only want the ball in Cooper Rush's hands 20 to 25 times. And we're going to run until Rico Dowdle vomits on the sideline or he goes out with an injury. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a blowout. The game looks closer. The game even looks a little bit more polished. Why? Because limitations breeds creativity. When I know what I can't do for sure, I got to do something different. See, with Dak Prescott, what's going on with Dak, Mike won't do anything different. Do y'all realize this was Kellen Moore's problem? Kellen Moore unequivocally knew the quarterback Dak Prescott was. He knew, man, this guy can do pretty much whatever you want him to do if you can make the situation right. And so Kellen Moore, he's like a kid with a brand new toy. Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott, every time it's something different. And you got to understand, it's not just Dak Prescott. And that's the problem with some of these guys. Andy Reid is genius, y'all, and we're not even giving him credit. Everybody's running around here talking about Patrick Mahomes is the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm not going to argue that he's not the best quarterback in the league. But even the coach with the best quarterback in the league, have we not realized what he's done? He's dialed him back. He's dialed him way back. Way back. Because he understands football, y'all. He's saying something. Hey, Pat, we can't continue at this pace. I mean, we just can't. I mean, it's the laws of physics. I mean, you're getting older, man. And we can't keep having you to throw the ball over and over and over. It's just like a baseball player. Baseball players have what they call a pitch count. And if they get so many pitches on that arm eventually gives out. You ever notice professional baseball players, they don't pitch every single game. They're not pitching 100 games a season. That's not how baseball players do it. So what do you think about an NFL quarterback? Week after week after week after week, year after year, 40 passes a game, 45 passes a game. What do you think is going to happen to him? It's going to be pretty hard for him to keep on that pace. It's going to be pretty hard. It has to get to a point that you have to put running games around these quarterbacks. So you limit how many times they're throwing the ball. I mean, it's not really rocket science. It's not. Injuries have hurt this team. Yep. And they were thin already. That's it. The depth became the starters, and there's no more depth. 2025 will be Dallas' comeback season. You know what? I hope it does, but the Mingo thing kind of got me worried. A great backup was Steve Young. Rush is serviceable, nothing more. That's what he is, Bill Bates. We don't want to admit what he is. And Jay Army, you're actually saying the right thing. Even the defense, you got to understand. You play different when you know you got a super stud out there. You play different. But when you have somebody that's limited out there, guess how you play? Okay, guys, we cannot get behind. Because if we get behind, this game is over. Have y'all ever noticed what Dak Prescott has not done? Not once, but Dak Prescott has done twice already this season. And I think he was going to do it a third time against the Falcons. We only watched, wait a minute. I think we've seen Dak do it 4 times. We watched Dak Prescott make a comeback against the Baltimore Ravens. And it literally came down to the last drive. And they couldn't get the ball back. But they had an opportunity. If they'd have got that ball back, they could have made, they might could have won the game. We saw Dak Prescott, 4th quarter throw against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We saw Dak Prescott against the San Francisco 49ers almost make a comeback. We're watching the Atlanta Falcon game. There's no doubt in our minds until that fake punt happens. There's no doubt in our minds. And even when Dak Prescott started to run, people were kind of like, wait a minute. Cowboys might come back. When you got that kind of player on the team, you play with a different mentality. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. But you got a quarterback who you know is very limited. You say, hold on a second. We don't have a lot of chances. We got to play different. We got to call the game different. Everybody's going to be thinking different. And this is the part that I cannot stand. See, Andy Reid is genius. Andy Reid thinks how people should be thinking all the time. He's a situational football expert. That's what Andy Reid is. He's always evaluating the situation. What do I need to do in this situation? He's not making halftime adjustments. Andy Reid is making adjustments on the fly, y'all. This man is genius, and people do not understand what they're watching. We are literally, y'all think Bill Belichick was genius? No, you're watching a sheer genius with Andy Reid. Bill Belichick wasn't a play caller. Andy Reid is a situational expert, as in I know the situation and I know the play to call. This man is genius, y'all. I love watching the Kansas City Chiefs play, not because of Patrick Mahomes. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. He's from my home area. Andy Reid is genius, y'all. Andy Reid is genius. We're gonna play different, J Army. You know why? Because we're forced to play different. That's why we're gonna play different. We're not gonna play different because the team plays better with Cooper Rush. And you hit it right on the head. They're gonna play more conservative because they know they can't take the chances they take with Dak Prescott. They're not gonna do some of those things. They're gonna try to dumb this game down. We're going to dumb it down. What does Cooper Rush do best? What are his best throws? What are his best plays? We're going to run the ball. We're going to run this ball. Y'all watch what I tell you. I've been screaming this the whole season. We're going to do for Cooper Rush what we should have been doing to Dak Prescott with a depleted line. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run this ball. I've already showed the stats. When Cooper Rush took over the last time, they ran the ball 30 times, 30 times, 35 times. Even when the run wasn't working, they ran the ball 30 plus times. Why? We're going to limit what we do. We're going to button up, we're going to tighten up, and we're going to try to grind out a win. See, you're not getting it, Dak. Dak delusional. They don't function better. That's what we're not understanding. They don't function better. They turn off some of the key. They flip some of the switches off. They basically say we're going to dumb down the playbook. That's what they're doing. People who don't know football, this is what they don't see. And that's why when you look at the stats, you go back and look at the tape. Look at the stats and the tape. And you'll know clearly what's going on. They're not playing better. They're playing more conservative. They're dumbing down the playbook. But we better understand something. We don't have that same defense. I'm just telling you now. We don't have that same defense. Don't be surprised if Cooper Rush goes out here and have a great game against the Eagles. He's not. Andre, I'm telling you, he's not. And you got to tell me what you call a great game. You got to tell me what you call a great game. Because I'm telling you, Andre, if you were telling me these were two other games, or this was the Giants, if you were telling me that this was even, I don't even care, the Bengals, throw them in there, I could kind of go with you. You're missing an element, Andre. Kellen Moore's in the defensive room this week. Kellen Moore's in the defensive room. Y'all don't understand something. Cooper Rush ain't nowhere close to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has owned the Philadelphia Eagles. Go back, check the tape, even in the losses. Dak has literally killed the Philadelphia Eagles. And Slay will tell you as much. Dak is an absolute monster and beast. The Eagles have not been able to do nothing with Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is not going to be no problem for him. He's going to be easy work. He's going to be easy work for him. And Kellen Moore is cueing them in on every little thing you need to look at with Kellen. Every little thing you need to look at with Cooper Rush. Every little thing you need to look at with, guess who? CD Lamb. Who is he going to throw to, y'all? I'm just giving y'all football 101 because I think people talk too much with their emotions, their feelings. I'm just giving you football 101 because I'm going to tell you what I would do as a coach. I call myself, I play around. I'm the Black Kyle Shanahan. I'm just going to tell you what I would do. So we got a backup quarterback. Who do we think his favorite receiver is going to be? I'm going to triple team CD Lamb. I'm going to literally triple team CD Lamb. Cooper Rush, I'm going to take him totally away from you. I'm going to make you beat me with Tolbert. I'm going to make you beat me with who? Flanoy, if he comes in. I'm going to make you beat me with the gadget guy, Kavontae Turpin, who has shown now over the last 3 games, he can't catch the ball consistently. The only hope that this team has, and I got it right here on my notes, and I'm going to be talking about this going forward in this Philadelphia Eagle game. I'm going to show you, see, can I show you my notes here? Rico Dowdle is the true key. He is the true key to winning this football game. It's Rico Dowdle and nobody else. I'm telling y'all, you Cooper Rush loving fans out there, if they don't run the ball 35 times with Cooper Rush as the starter, mark my words, every last one of these games are going to be 40 points or more. Every last one of them. We don't even understand what we're saying. Who's Cooper Rush going to throw to? Who? Who is he going to throw to? I promise y'all, we don't understand. We are literally, it's like fool's gold with us with Cooper Rush. We need to be put into reality with Cooper Rush. He's actually not the key to winning this game, y'all. The key to winning this game, and they can win this game. They can win this game. They got to win TOP, time of possession. And the only way you win time of possession, you better run, and run some more. There even has to be some drives, y'all. There even has to be some drives. The drives are not even necessarily the score. They just need to take time off the clock. They need to just be, let's keep reminding them, we're going to run. And so when we pick and choose, when we run that play action and make sure we don't commit all these dumb penalties, we don't keep Cooper Rush in third and long. If we can get him in third and short, then we can do some things maybe with these other guys in the passing game. But if we don't run the ball, you can tell me anything you want to. You can tell me anything you want to about Cooper Rush, but he's not the key to winning this game. The key to winning this game is, will Mike McCarthy come off of his pride? Will he come off of his pride, and will he do what he finally should have been doing the entire time with Dak Prescott and this young line that can't pass block? Run the ball. If he'll run the ball, this entire team would look better. Because the entire team would have already been looking better had he run the ball. No, they're not going to play better. You're going to watch better, more conservative play calling. That's what you're going to watch. That's what you're going to see. Even on the defense, Mike Zimmer has in his mind, there's no way. We have got to keep this team contained. Bend, don't break. Hold them to field goals as much as possible. Because we got Brandon Aubrey. Maybe we can create some situations to where we make it a field goal game. But I'm telling you, if they come out and do this, let me show you something that I thought that was absolutely insane. When you look at the box score of the Atlanta Falcons game, if Mike McCarthy comes out and does this in a quarter and a half, this game is over before it even starts for the Dallas Cowboys. I want you to look at this. Cooper Rush, because Dak got hurt in the third quarter, I think it is. Cooper Rush threw the ball 25 times. Let that sink in. And the reason why they had to throw it 25 times is because the genius coach runs a fake punt that puts him down by 2 scores. So Cooper Rush is forced to throw the ball. Now, you better understand something about the Atlanta Falcons and the reason why that this game was a total blunder and we should have came out of this game unscathed. They don't rush the passer. They don't run the passer. They play off coverage. Everybody was confused at the game plan that they ran. How did the Cowboys not win this game on a team that doesn't rush the passer and a team that plays off coverage? And as I told you, even Brian Broaddus, who watched the tape, obviously said he was surprised because where you would have thought the Atlanta Falcons would have been better suited to stop the run, they actually let the Cowboys run all over them. And where Mike McCarthy is not Andy Reid wouldn't have waited till halftime, y'all. Andy Reid would have made an in-game adjustment and said, they're playing a little bit different. The pass is not working. So we got to get them back into what they normally play. And what is working is the run. Okay, we're going to give them a heavy dose. Just like Andy Reid did in that game on Monday night Monday night. He gave him a heavy dose of the run. He just ran the ball on him. And he made Tampa Bay, who has a really good defense, he made Tampa Bay get some act right in them. He made them get some act right in them. You got to run the ball. I'm telling y'all, we run this ball. I don't think Dak Prescott is hurt. Because I don't think he has to run the ball. Because we're letting the people who's supposed to run the ball run the ball. I'm tired of this whole, you got to be a running quarterback to quarterback in NFL. No, you don't. You get your running back and let him run the doggone ball. That's what you do. Let's just say Rush does well. This will be an indictment on McCarthy and his staff. It is. Because we already know how he's going to win the game. Niecy, you know it. He's not going to come out and throw this ball 40 times with Cooper Rush. He's going to try his best to limit his throws. Jerry will bring Kellen back if we beat Philly. Hey, let me tell you, even if we beat Philly. Niecy, it's already circulating. Kellen Moore. That's if Jerry don't bring back Mike McCarthy. And I'm not going to be convinced he let him go until he let him go. But Kellen Moore is a candidate for this head coaching job. Bill Bates, I agree with you. But have you noticed? Every time a job comes open, you ever notice whose name show up? Cooper Rush's name always shows up in these coaching interviews. They always show up. I don't know why. Mike is a contradicting weasel. Kellen run way more than McCarthy. Isn't it strange, Dak? That's how he got the job. I'll never forget that joker. I just want to run the ball because he was saying the reason why we lost that game, we didn't run the ball. Mike wouldn't have ran the ball either. He ain't been running it this year. And this is the year he should be running it. Mike weaseled his way into the play calling and he kicked out Kellen Moore. Boy, let me tell y'all something. Y'all not hearing me. There's more to these Dallas Cowboy beatdowns than y'all understand. There is more to these Dallas Cowboy beatdowns than we're comprehending. One, everybody gives the Dallas Cowboys their best punch. Everybody. And it makes me wonder why does this team be so worn down come playoff time? I think it's the media wears them down, but I also think something else wears them down. I think the sheer fact that everyone is giving the Dallas Cowboys their best punch, I think that wears them down. But I think there's something else that wears them down too. I believe that there are coaches in this league who have coached with the Dallas Cowboys. There are players in this league who have played with the Dallas Cowboys. And some of them got a sour taste in their mouth as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys. And when they see the Dallas Cowboys on that schedule, they circle those games. And it is revenge time. I'm telling y'all, Kellen Moore gonna be out for blood. I don't care what anyone says. I don't know how successful he's going to be at it. Kellen Moore going to be out for blood, y'all. This is why when I analyze games, I'm always looking like, what are the storylines? What are the things that are going on? Not just between the white lines. What are the things that are going on in the head of people? I told y'all, Derrick Henry had that Dallas Cowboy game circled. He had that game circled. I'm going to run this team off the field because I wanted to play in Dallas and Jerry Jones didn't even call me. I'm going to run him off the field. We're watching Derrick Henry, y'all, be on a mission. Because teams thought he's 30-year-old runner. He rewatched it. I'm going to show everybody. And in particular, the Cowboys. I'm going to show them I'm not washed up. There are two people over the next 3 weeks y'all better be looking at. Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn. They're fired up for those games. They are literally fired up for these Dallas Cowboy games. And Kellen Moore in particular, he got everything to gain. He's going to make a point to put on an audition tape. Niecy says, I'm going to play devil's advocate. He didn't say how many times he would run the ball. I'm going to tell you, if Mike comes out and be Mike, y'all watch what I tell you. Y'all thought the Detroit game was bad? It's going to be a bloodbath. I can see Kellen Moore being the head coach next year. Jerry wanted him to be the head coach. Mike McCarthy, Dak said it right. That weasel, oh yeah, he pushed Kellen Moore out. He pushed him out. And it's amazing. Dak Prescott had this amazing year. And now we're seeing that Mike McCarthy went back to an antiquated playbook. Mike McCarthy got a point to prove. They're going to try and stick it to Jerry. We're going to see. But I can tell you now, if you don't run that ball, this game is over. Force rush to throw outside the numbers. Play cornerbacks with the inside leverage. Put pressure to throw A and B gas. Rush will have problems. Frederick. And you're saying exactly what Kellen Moore is going to tell him. Kellen Moore's in that defensive room this week. If there's anybody that knows C.D. Lamb, if there's anybody that knows Cooper Rush, they're going to stop C.D. Lamb, and they're going to make him. And C.D. Lamb got a sprain, I don't know, AC joint or whatever, some shoulder joint. I don't know about y'all, but if I'm the defensive coordinator, and I know they may try to do something to C.D. Lamb's shoulder to numb the pain, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell my defense, my cornerbacks, my safeties, my linebackers. I need you to make sure that C.D. Lamb hits the ground every single time. I need you to make sure you jam him at the line. I need you to make sure no matter what we do in this game, every single offensive play, get your hands on C.D. Lamb, and if you get the opportunity, you drive him in the ground. That's football, y'all. There's too many the strategies that you can play. And Kellen Moore versus Mike McCarthy. I think that's what you're alluding to, Andre. Kellen Moore versus Mike McCarthy. I hope Mike McCarthy don't try to get in a PP contest, trying to see who can pee the furthest. Because if he does, it's going to be a problem. Because Kellen Moore, do y'all know he's got something that I don't understand why the Dallas Cowboys didn't go get? His name is Saquon Barkley. What in the world are the Cowboys going to do with Saquon Barkley? What are we going to do with Saquon Barkley, y'all? Saquon Barkley going to be a problem. He's been a problem for everybody the whole season. And Saquon Barkley, the thing that I love and hate about Saquon Barkley is the type of running back, you can run him 18 times. He'll get 1 yard, 2 yards, 0 yards, -2 yards, 1 yard. And then all of a sudden you blink. Saquon Barkley take you to the crib and hit his head on the goalpost. What are we going to do with Saquon Barkley? No velocity on Rush's throws. Frederick Johnson, you've been watching him. He throws a pretty ball, y'all. He does. He throws a pretty ball. But these NFL scouts, y'all, they're not dumb. They're watching tape. They're watching practice. They see these insufficiencies in him, and that's why he's still with the Cowboys as a backup. Micah Parsons will have a great game. Let me tell you something, Andre. I'm not sold on Micah Parsons yet. And I'm not saying he's not a great player. I just think he's a great player that's playing out of position. I just don't think he needs to continue playing defensive end. But I know that's where the money is. And so he wants to play defensive end. But he needs to be put back at linebacker. He needs to be put back at linebacker. I think he could be way more efficient at linebacker. Let him blitz from the linebacker position rather than letting him go up against those big offensive linemen and getting chipped out of the backfield by running backs. That's how he got hurt. them lining up tight ends out there on his side. I mean, the Cowboys are going to have to get smarter with Micah Parsons, man, because just letting him put his hand down in the ground, standing up on the edge ain't good enough no more. They need to be creative in how they're using him. In all his wins, Cooper Rush has scored 20 or more points. They have won. Okay. Dak says Cooper Rush passed more than they ran 6 games, 4 times over 30 passes, 1 game less than 25 passes. Okay. And we're going to look at that in just a second. Kellen Moore played the Eagles. They did not score 20 points. They lost 26-19. So they must score 20 points to beat the Eagles. Okay, he said Kellen Moore played the Eagles. They did not score more than 20 points. Okay, you have to give me some clarity on that. Rush had 3 game-winning drives and 6 starts. I remember the one with the Cincinnati Bengals. That's the one that everyone's been talking about. But you have to understand something. See, Dak, you're looking at individual things. But I'm looking at what the team did around Cooper Rush. And I don't know, maybe you weren't here yesterday, but Cooper Rush absolutely declined in that run. And those last games, that Ram game, that was all defense. That was not him. And even when you look at the Eagle game, a lot of the passes, see, you're talking about average passes. See, a lot of those passes actually came in the Philadelphia Eagle game because he threw the ball 38 times, but he only completed 18 passes. He had to throw the ball all those times. And even in those games, when you think about those games that he won, stop it. You're not being honest, man. Cooper Rush was not the reason why they won those games. It was the defense why they won those games. The defense absolutely killed it in those games. Let me see here. See, I'm talking about the games as a whole. See, this is the problem I have when we start talking about these games. We start looking at these games and we start in revisionist history. We're only looking at the score. We're only looking at one thing. We're not looking at what happened the entire game. I mean, what was going on in these games that made Cooper Rush be so successful? And I'm telling you, the one thing for sure, they ran the ball. And they ran it and they ran it and they ran it. They ran the ball. Let me see here. All right. Now, see, the game that a lot of people talk about, and I know what you're talking about. The game you're talking about is this Cincinnati Bengal game. That's the game that everyone's talking about. But I'm gonna put you up on game. See, you're looking at the wrong thing, and this is my problem. Everybody keeps looking at Cooper Rush. But what I want you to do is focus on a particular number. I want you, one, to focus on that score. Dan Quinn's defense during that Cooper Rush run, an average of 15 points a game. You can win a whole lot of games if you can hold teams to an average of 15 points. 15 points. That's all you. If you can hold teams like this. And I want y'all to notice this. If I'm not mistaken, the Cincinnati Bengals finished 12-4 this season. But the Cincinnati Bengals, something happened. They were having a very hard time at the beginning of the season. They were 0-2. They were struggling. I don't know exactly what was going on. I mean, it's been a while, but something was going on. They were 0-2. They were in a slump. They only scored 17 points on the Cowboys. Want you to look again. Because you're not looking at the right thing. You see what I'm circling? The defense held the New York Giants to 16 points. And in this game in particular, I want you to look at what the Dallas Cowboys did on the ground. 176 yards. Dak delusional. How many games have we ran this year for 176 yards? I'm going to go even further. How many have we ran this year for 100 yards? How many? How many have we ran, Dak delusional? How many teams, Dak delusional, have we held to an average of 15 points, 16 points, 17 points? Tell me when we've done it. We keep talking about Cooper Rush. I'm not going to let you do it. You can talk about him all you want to. I can't stop you. But I'm going to talk facts. Just keep looking at what they did. And as the season went on, they started doing something else. Look at this. Since the Cleveland Brown game, I'm sorry, y'all. We have to just go back and do a little bit of this. I'm not going to go all the way, but we got to do a little bit of this because we got these people who won't look at the whole game. Y'all tell me when's the Cowboys had 5 sacks outside of the Cleveland Browns? In this 7-game span, minus Cleveland, where have we had 5 sacks? Where have we had them, y'all? Where have we had them? Where have we been turning people over? Where have we been getting people off the field on 3rd down? Where have we been doing these things? Cooper Rush was getting a tremendous amount of help. A tremendous amount of help. And we keep acting like this man rolled out of here and just killed teams. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. They knew what they had to do. And the defense didn't get the credit that they deserved. But the defense, they truly held down Cooper Rush. They held down the team. I'll show you again because you're delusional. Anybody see this number right here? The Washington Commanders scored 10 points. You think that's Cooper Rush? They scored 10 points. They were 1-3. I want you to look at the box score. Look who actually was doing all the work for the Dallas Cowboys. I would dare say that's 1, 4, 5, 6. Maher scored 6 field goals. 6 field goals. And I even brought this out the other day, Dak. You'll notice they kept Cooper Rush around where you need your quarterback to be if you're going to win games and you got a defense. You want your quarterback to throw 25 times. And that's exactly what I want Dak Prescott to do. And that's exactly what most quarterbacks, if they're going to win games, you only want their pitch count around 25, 27. That's all you want. Because I'll tell you what else. His completion percentage wasn't that good. He's around a 58% completion percentage during that run. That's not beating good teams. You can beat the Washington Commanders. You can beat the New York Giants. You can beat the slumping Cincinnati Bengals. But anybody want to pay attention to what happened when they ran up against the Rams, who are not a good team, but a well-coached team? A well-coached team. There's a difference in when you're talking about a well-coached team, even if they're losing. A well-coached team can do some things. Let's look at the Rams game. See, this is fool's gold, y'all. This is fool's gold. Can I let you feast your eyes on this again, Dak? So is this Cooper Rush or the defense? Because I can tell you something else they were doing. This defense was so stingy, they were creating short fields for the offense. And because they're creating short fields for the offense, let's look again. Anybody see anything strange? 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. This team was doing some things that this current team is not doing. Look at the rushing, 163 yards. Let's keep looking. Oh, there's something else in the Rams game. 2 fumbles lost to the Dallas Cowboys. You don't think that added to the point total? An interception thrown. You don't think that added to the point total? This Dallas defense, Dan Quinn was ball hungry, and Mike McCarthy even said as much. The one thing we're missing from the team this year is the turnovers that they were getting us last year, Dan Quinn. This is fool's gold. Bill Bates said it best. He's serviceable. We won't give this defense the credit they deserve during that run. We're not giving them the credit. And Cooper Rush was not lighting it up. He had a couple of good throws. He had a few good throws. He should have been able to do that. That's why they got him. He's the backup quarterback. Let's stop acting like when the backup quarterback does backup quarterback things, that he's better than the starter. No, he's not better than a starter. I don't understand. You start whipping these stats out on folk, and then folk don't want, they don't have nothing for you. And this right here was the game. Isn't it ironic? This was the game. It's the Philadelphia Eagle game. This was the one that exposed Cooper Rush. He got against a team that decided they were going to get after him. They were going to get him off his mark. Wasn't going to sit back and let him make easy throws. When he got at a team that said, no, we're going to stop the run and we're going to stop you too. When they said we're going to do all these things, we're going to make you go past one read. Look what happened. 26 points. Someone says, yeah, see, the defense let him down. No. You know who let the defense down? Cooper Rush. 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. The Eagles scored 20 points in the second quarter. The Cowboys scored 0 points in the second quarter. Cooper Rush was a turnover machine. And then when the defense buckled back down, look what happened in the third quarter. Third quarter, Dallas Cowboys 7, Eagles 0. And they're about to make a comeback. About to make a comeback. No, they're not. Fool's goal. They got another touchdown. They were not coming back on the Eagles. The Eagles shut the door on them. 2 more field goals. Game over. And everybody talking about the Eagles were sweating. Eagles were not sweating. Cooper Rush was the quarterback. The Eagles were not sweating. And I'm telling y'all, we can get these visions of grandeur in our heads all we want to. But there are too many other things going on in this game. And this is not just going to be between the lines, because I'm telling y'all, I've said it once and I'm going to say it again. The Dallas Cowboys are getting beat before they hit the field. They're getting beat before they hit the field. They're getting beat in here by themselves. Dak's been saying it all year. The practices are bad. Mike McCarthy talking about we need to practice better. Now Mike McCarthy's even saying the walkthroughs are bad. This team is mentally beat before it ever gets physically beat. I'm trying to help us to understand even football itself, even mentality itself. Slavery doesn't begin physically. Slavery begins in the mind. And when your mind is not right, you don't function right. Andy Reid is on top of every aspect of the game. He is, in my opinion, the best coach right now. He is. He doesn't make halftime adjustments. He makes in-game adjustments. He monitors the entire game. Andy Reid is unlike many coaches. Mike McCarthy, he plans out his entire game plan from start to finish. And even when he sees his game plan not working, Mike McCarthy won't make any adjustments. He is so bullheaded that his game plan is his game plan or nothing. It's his game plan or nothing. McCarthy and Kellen and Jerry said nothing changes for Rush and Dak, just game situations. Okay. They can tell me anything they want to, but I'm looking at, I know what I'm seeing. I know exactly what I'm seeing. And Jerry Jones is a bold-faced liar. I'm gonna prove you, Dak. You got to stop listening to what people say and watch what they do. Jesus said a tree is known by the fruit that it bears. It don't matter if you believe in God or not. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears. When I go out to an apple tree, it's supposed to be apples on that tree. If I see apples, when I bite it, it's supposed to be an apple. Let me let all that make sense. So if the only difference between Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott is situations, let me get what you said right. I'm gonna show you where you're not even being honest with yourself. If nothing changes for Rush and Dak, just game situations, why did they sign Dak Prescott? Let me do that again for you, just a little louder. So you're telling me, Dak, that Jerry believes that, but gave Dak Prescott a $60 million deal. Is that a fool? Is that a fool, Dak? I'm asking you because you're touting what these liars are saying. You're touting a liar who said he's fully confident in Mike McCarthy after he ran a fake punt for no reason in the third quarter, put his team down by 2 scores, who refuses to run the ball, who Troy Aikman said poor play design. And Jerry Jones agreed with him. And then on the other side of his mouth saying, I'm fully confident. He got a fire in his belly. You're believing that same Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy. I'm not going to insult you. You might just need to question. You might need to question yourself. I don't believe liars. When you prove to me you're a liar, I don't believe you anymore. I'm built different. I don't believe liars because they're a liar. I don't look at a dead clock twice a day to tell the time. I look at a clock that tells the time. And Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy the whole season have not been telling the time. If Cooper Rush, if the only thing different is the situations, why didn't they sign Cooper Rush for $10 million and let Dak walk? It would be almost more money than he made his whole career. We got a backup quarterback that's capable of being a starting quarterback. We're gonna let Dak Prescott walk, get from under that huge contract, reset this salary cap once and for all, and we're taking Cooper Rush on a 2-year deal, 2 for $40. You're listening to Jerry Jones. You're listening to Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy, and you believe that bunch of crap. Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. We should have kept Tony Pollard because I don't know how much Rico has left. And Tony Pollard's turning. I saw it. They said it, Jay Army. Tony Pollard is tearing it up in Tennessee. Tearing it up. And he can tell me all the mental health stuff he wants to. The issue is the Cowboys wouldn't pay him. Probably should have. Probably should have paid him. They probably could have got him for 2 for 10. 2 years, $12 million. He probably would have signed that. He likes the Dallas Cowboys. He probably would have signed it. But Jerry planned demolition. I'm telling y'all, the only thing that's not going according to the plans of Jerry Jones are the injuries. That's the part Jerry didn't anticipate. He didn't anticipate the injuries. And so he was hoping for something more organic, that he would have all of his players playing. They would beat the bad teams. They would beat the mediocre teams fail to the good teams and be somewhere around 10-6, get into the playoffs, more than likely lose, draft situations a little bit better, the schedule next year a little bit better. And worst case scenario, if they don't get 10-7, they get 8-8, they get 7-9, they get 6-10. We're going down in the wins, but I'm going up in the draft. That's been Jerry Jones' plan all along. Don't let Jerry Jones fool you. If Jerry would have wanted to win, he would have got Derrick Henry. If Jerry would have wanted to win, he would have kept some of those players who walked away. If Jerry wanted to win, he'd have did something better at the trade deadline than Mingo. You can't tell me you want to win, but you're doing nothing to win. But if I look at what you're doing, it looks like a soft rebuild, just like it was mentioned. I signed my quarterback. I signed my wide receiver. I opened up the cap for Micah Parsons, and everyone else, I'm starting over. Well, that's what he's doing. But what's making him look so bad are the injuries, because it makes the team look worse because there's no depth. Must stop the blitz. Somebody must step. Two players must step up. It's about the role players this week. Andre, I agree with you to a degree. The players. I know people don't want to hear this. People have been arguing against me on this. I'm telling y'all, it's not the players. It's the coaching. They're getting beat before they hit the field. It's the coaching. That's the false starts. That's the delay of games. That's the 12 men on the field. That's the dumb fake punts. That's the lack of situational awareness. That's the coaching. This team is getting beat in the coaching. They're getting beat in the room before they ever hit the field. When Dak says this team sucks, he's not talking about the players, y'all. I'm sorry. He's talking about the doggone coaching. He's talking about the coaching. They are being put in situations to where they just can't win. Dak Prescott has shown he understands situational football. He can call plays. He's not calling his own plays. While there may be audibles, Dak can't just go out there and say, throw that play in the trash. I'm calling my own play. He can't do it. Not the whole game. He can't do it. This coaching staff is putting this team in just pitiful situations. You don't think we want to eat crow? I would love for Cooper Rush to go out there and light it up, because I would love for him to win the next 4 games. But no, Woods. No. You're just going to have to be in reality. No trick plays. You better not do it this week. Y'all not hearing me. The Eagles and the Commanders are going to be out for blood. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys look better against the Houston Texans than the Eagles and the Commanders. I wouldn't be surprised they give the Houston Texans the game of the year. But these Eagles and Commanders, boy, y'all don't understand. This is more than X's and O's, man. This is more than X's and O's. Andre, I'm telling everybody, if they don't let Rico run this ball, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance if Rico don't run this ball. This better be Rico. If he don't run this ball, it's over. When Jerry Jones gets rid of Jimmy Johnson, I knew we will not win another Super Bowl under Jerry Jones. Let me say it again. We will not win another Super Bowl. Nope, you won't. We won't. Because he's the problem. And then he hires people that compound the problem. Kellen becomes head coach. He will get all the weapons and will make a run with Dak. I wouldn't be surprised. Because if Jerry gets Kellen Moore, then he's really going to prove himself. He's going to try to prove himself right. He's going to really try to prove himself right. Some of these fans think football just a quarterback play. Don't know real football. Fantasy football like talking to a brick wall. That's it. And fantasy football has ruined how people think. This is why I'm telling you, I'm going to do it this week again. When I analyze games, I'm looking at the storylines. Because storylines drive people. Y'all want to know why Mike McCarthy has not been able to beat none of his former coaches? They know him. They know how he thinks. And I'll just keep it 100% real with you. They know he's inept because he's still using a 30-year-old playbook. They know his tendencies. It's not just the players' tendencies they know. They know Mike McCarthy's tendencies. And watch this, Kellen Moore not only knows Cooper Rush, he not only knows CeeDee Lamb and multiple players on this team. Kellen Moore even knows how Trayvon Diggs bites on balls, takes chances on balls. Kellen Moore knows all of this. And most of all, you don't think he's been in that war room with Mike McCarthy? The only advantage the Cowboys really have is Mike Zimmer. Because Kellen Moore doesn't know Mike Zimmer. And so Mike Zimmer may be able to come up with a cocktail that can hold the Eagles at bay. But I'm going to tell you something. The Dallas Cowboys got off lucky last week with the Atlanta Falcons. If there is one thing that has plagued the Dallas Cowboys, even during Dan Quinn, as good as Dan Quinn was, it is the running quarterback. The running quarterback, it gives all teams fits. But the running quarterback in particular gives the Dallas Cowboys fits. And Jalen Hurts will pull that ball down and run on you in a second. Cooper Rush go-to guy was Noah Brown, not CD. Yeah, but you got to realize something. But when you got CD, it still helps. And this, okay, so he got Noah Brown. So who's he going to be his go-to now? Because I don't care what you say, Dak. It can be Jalen Tolbert. I mean, it can be Jalen Brooks. It can be Kevontae Turpin. I'll take my chances every single day of the week with any other receiver other than CeeDee Lamb. I'll take it. I'll take it every single time. Because I know the chances of you beating me with those players are less likely than CeeDee Lamb. And if your defense, as I've already proven to you, if your defense isn't holding every team to 15 points, catching those teams at the right time when they're in slumps, if your team isn't catching us in that situation, we're going to destroy you. We're going to destroy you. I'm taking away CeeDee Lamb. And if you're a coach thinking, if you're in that room talking about, I would love for you to be in that room. I'm going to beat the brakes off you. Because if you in that room talking about all we got to do is go to Jalen Tolbert, well, I'm going to beat the brakes off of you. Because if you don't run that ball to Rico Dowdle is going to be the key to the Dallas Cowboys surviving this run. And if they'll run that ball with Rico Dowdle and Dalvin Cook, run that ball 40 times between the two, and then they get him about 20 to 25 throws, Kellen Moore, and make those throws count because of the play action, they don't have a chance. They should try to win as many games as possible so you'll feel better about yourself. Oh, no, not me. Because I'm asking y'all this because I'm asking this for a reason. Because when you think about what I'm asking, so if let's just say we win. We play to win. And we win. And I don't think there's any way we're going 4-0. I mean, there is a way. I mean, anything's possible. But what if you go 2-2? So you go 2-2, and that puts you at 5-7. So does 5-7, and let's say Dak is 90% or 85%. Do you bring Dak Prescott back at 85% for 5-7? Do you do it? Michael Parsons must have a great game. Barkley has never had a great game against the Cowboys. He wasn't with the Philadelphia Eagles either. I'm interested to see this, though. Kellen Moore, the head coach, I'm done with the Cowboys. Well, let me ask you this, Michelle. What if they bring back Mike McCarthy? Because I think Jerry Jones is threatening bringing back Mike McCarthy. I think he's threatening that. Michael Parsons will be at linebacker this week. Okay, I want to make sure that's correct. Cowboys too cheap. That's why they'll never win. And they mismanage the cap. They mismanage the cap. And they fool people, and that's the reason why they can't do anything. Must run the ball to get pressure off Cooper Rush. I'm trying to show Dak he's not getting it. They ran the heck out of that ball when Cooper Rush was the quarterback. They ran the heck out of that ball. They were not playing, man. They were running that thing 30 times. They were not playing. And you'll notice the game that got out of control for them. The game that got out of control for them was the Philadelphia Eagle game. And you'll notice that game right there, they ran the ball 26 times. But they ran a lot of those in the third and the fourth quarter. They got so far behind. But then they got back because of those turnovers. But then they got back to doing what they needed to do. They grinded it out. The defense did what the defense was doing the whole season. Kellen Moore put them in a bad situation with those interceptions. And so the defense started playing behind the 8 ball. And maybe had they played conservative football rather than listening to everyone acting like Cooper Rush was the best thing since sliced bread, they probably could have grinded that game out too. Because in order for them to win with Cooper Rush, you win differently than you do with Dak Prescott. It's not flashy. It's not going to be flashy. It's going to be hard-nosed, grinded out football. We're on the grind. That's how you win with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush throwing the ball 38 times. You're not going to win. And if you got to take Cooper Rush to 30, 31, you're on the brink. You're on the brink. But Cooper Rush, we're going to see. He will get back some of the defensive weapons this week. So we'll see how that goes. He had less interceptions than Dak, and Dak had the same help. You're not making sense. What are you talking about? Less interceptions than Dak? When? Because if you're talking about that season, the one thing that people don't want to talk about with Dak Prescott during that season, I think there was something about the Dallas Cowboys they were not admitting. One, James Jones is silly because he doesn't realize that Dak Prescott came back weeks early with that broke thumb than what's actually estimated. Dak Prescott came back early. And I think that Dak Prescott, they didn't admit it, but Dak Prescott couldn't throw certain balls right because of that injury. And then number two, well, the tip balls that on those interceptions in 2022, they were horrendous. There were a lot. I can remember the game, what was it, the Noah Brown game? The ball hit Noah Brown right in the hand. He just tipped it up to the defender. But of course, it's Dak Prescott, so nobody's going to give you that. And then number two, you're actually not making sense because Dak Prescott played more games. Dak Prescott played more games than Cooper Rush. So it would actually make sense that he's throwing more interceptions than Cooper Rush because you're going to throw interceptions. I don't care who you are. Because that's why last year Dak Prescott came back and Dak Prescott had single-digit interceptions. No, you're not making sense. You're not making sense. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And so it just makes me wonder if the Cowboys win all these games, Dak Prescott, they could come back and make a run because Cooper Rush is not going to remain the starter. But if they're 5-7, do you bring Dak Prescott back and he's 85%? What do y'all think? Do you bring him back if you're 5-7? I mean, I think Dak Prescott's going to come back and play regardless. I really do. I don't think Dak is built like that unless there is some kind of setback. I don't think Dak would dare sit down the whole season if he's healthy. What's going on, Spider-Man? I don't think it's going to happen, but I just wonder if we should bring him back. We must stop Smith. Barclay's hurt. Purse is hurt. A.J. Brown is hurt. Well, we saw the same thing against the 49ers, and we couldn't take advantage of that situation. So I'm interested to see what do they do in this situation. Because I noticed they said that Jalen Hurts didn't practice, and they're saying that is some kind of veteran off day for rest. Jerry Stevens set the Cowboys up to fail this season during the offseason. Too much drama. They did it on purpose. Defense must play great. I'm going to give Mike Zimmer credit, though. Mike Zimmer has been doing way more with less. And what he's been pulling off with this defense, with all of these injuries, it's nothing short of a miracle to me. So if there's one person, I just mentioned it earlier, Zimmer may be the advantage the Cowboys have because he's the one guy Kellen Moore doesn't know intricately inside. He hasn't been in the war room and see how Zimmer thinks. He can watch tape, of course, but sitting next to a guy and you're talking to him and why is he doing this and why is he doing that and you get a real good understanding of him. And so Kellen Moore is definitely going to be a big part of their defense this week. When a quarterback is not putting a team behind you, do you have to score a lot and look at the turnovers Dak had in the games? It was the same defense. It was the same defense Dak had. No, actually, again, Dak, you're not paying attention. Because that same Cowboy defense, as the season went on, that 5-game sample size, we're not looking at the team. See, you keep looking at Cooper Rush. I'm looking at the season. I'm looking at the team. I'm looking at the other team. I'm looking at the whole situation. It was the perfect storm when the Cowboys brought in Cooper Rush. Did you look at the records of those teams? They caught the Cincinnati Bengals 0-2. Something was going on with Cincinnati. The New York Giants. They're the New York Giants. It is what it is. You look at the Commanders. They were terrible. They were 1-3. You look at the Rams. They were 2-3. You're looking at the perfect storm. It's the perfect row of games. And even with this, Andre is pointing it out. This is almost, and I'm not going to say 100%, but this is almost the perfect storm again for Cooper Rush. Why is it the perfect storm? Well, Andre just mentioned it. The Philadelphia Eagles are injury-ridden. They are injury-riddled, Injury-riddled. So if you got an opportunity, here it is. They don't have A.J. Brown. Here it is. You got you got major injuries. We watched this season. San Francisco 49ers, major injuries. We didn't do it. So here we are again. Eagles, major injuries. No Dak Prescott. Perfect storm. Okay? Can they put together a game plan? Can they put together a super tight game plan? Because I think they can win the game. if Mike McCarthy will do what he hasn't been doing the whole season. Run the ball. No other questions. Run the ball. You want to keep that defense off the field? Run the ball. You want your offensive line to do well? Run the ball. You want play action to work? Run the ball. Rico Dowdle. We're talking about Cooper Rush. The coaching and Rico Dowdle. I'm not putting this game on Cooper. I'm not putting these games on Cooper Rush. I'm putting these games on the legs of Rico Dowdle, Dalvin Cook, Deuce Vaughn, and Ezekiel Elliott wherever he can help. I'm not putting this on Cooper Rush. And they didn't do that in that run. They relied on the defense, keeping the score low. So you don't have to make Cooper Rush step outside of himself and do what he can't do. Run the ball so that the play action will work when we want to drop Cooper Rush back and they don't get to tee off on him when he throws the ball. You got to understand football, bro. You're in here trying to talk about Cooper Rush. I'm in here trying to temper the expectations of everyone and help them to understand football. If you want Cooper Rush to win, there's a formula. Run the ball. Period. Run the ball. Mike Zimmer, come up with a game plan to stop these teams. Perfect storm again. Perfect storm again. You got teams. You got a team that's coming in. You got a team that's coming in that doesn't have all their players. So you got a great opportunity to take advantage of this win. Houston Texans, mark that off. Just go ahead and mark the Houston Texans off. They're coached way too well. There's no way we beat the Houston Texans. Washington Commanders, I don't care what you say. You better mark that game off your calendar, brother. Whoever gonna watch this, we only watching this one for fun. Because I'm telling you, Dan Quinn coming in here and he gonna wreck shop. Dan Quinn gonna wreck shop on the Cowboys. He's gonna wreck shop on the Cowboys. So it is what it is. But the perfect storm again. Look at this. You have the New York Giants. They're not a good team. So the reality in this 4-game stretch with Dak Prescott, possibly being out 4 games, the reality is 2-2. That is the reality. There is no other reality. It is the best case scenario. There is no way, I promise y'all, there's no way the Cowboys beat the Commanders. And I hope I'm wrong. There's no way they beat the Commanders. And I think it's slim to none that they beat the Houston Texans. That team is extremely well coached. And the Washington Commanders we're seeing, they're extremely well coached. And y'all are not hearing me. We're not getting beat on the field. We're getting beat in the coaching room. And then we're getting beat on the field. And if you're telling me that this team can get its act together in a week, okay, great. The Eagles, I give it to you. It's a possibility. I think they can win it. I got this marked on here. I think they can win it. Run the ball. They can win it. Same thing I've been hollering with Dak Prescott. Just run the ball. Dak looks different. If you run the ball, give him play action, he looks different. Every quarterback looks different with the run. It's not just Dak Prescott. They all look different when you can run the ball. They all look different. So the Cowboys need to run the ball. I got to get out of here, but I'm going to be back to continue this conversation because I'm still asking the question, should we win? Because so you win 2 games, you go 5-7. Do we think that would be 12 games? There's 5 games left. Dak, 85%. Do y'all bring him back? Because that puts you in a situation to where if you're playing for the playoffs, you can't lose a game. You literally can't lose a game because I'm not sure 9-8 going to get you in the dance. I'm not sure 9-8 is going to get you in the dance. We must get off the field on third down, or we must win third down. I'm gonna give Mike. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna talk out of both sides of my mouth. I'm going to give Mike Zimmer a chance in this game. Because while one coach is not coaching, Mike Zimmer is coaching. Mike Zimmer is absolutely coaching. And if they had all their players, we still might be having a different conversation. If the Cowboys come out of that Pittsburgh Steelers game unscathed, we still may be having a conversation, minus the Detroit Lions, but we still may be having a conversation. Because I think they beat the San Francisco 49ers. I think they beat the Atlanta Falcons. Zimmer has been coaching. The rest of them, I don't know what they've been doing. You won't Coop. Nanny, I can't go with you on that. I can't do it. If Rush's win streak, teams had no film on him. Once they figured out what he likes and took it away, he was no longer the Messiah. That Rams game was pathetic. That Rams game was pathetic. It was the beginning of the realization this is why this guy's been a career backup. The Philadelphia Eagle game told us everything we needed to see. There's a reason why this guy is a career backup. And I'm gonna keep putting the same question to all the Cooper Rush apologists. If he's that good, why hasn't one team asked the Cowboys to trade for him? Why hasn't one team? He hit the open market. Everybody said after the 2022 season, there would be a market for Cooper Rush. He hit the open market, y'all. He hit the open market. And quietly, I might add, because no one wanted to talk about it because they all knew they were wrong. He hit the open market and nobody wanted him. Because everyone saw the same 5 games that the Dallas Cowboy fans are making into a unicorn. They saw the same, he's the first player in Cowboy history, first quarterback in Cowboy history to win his first 5 starts. Really? Well, if he made history, how come anybody didn't want him? Why didn't he make that history? This is not talking bad about Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is a backup. If I'm a backup, you're not talking bad about me if you say I'm a backup. If you say the starter is better than me, you're not talking bad about me. That's why I'm the backup. If you ask me why am I not starting on 32 other teams, 31 other teams, I'm the backup. Why can't we get this through our head? Why do we have to prop a man up higher than what he is? He's not Joe Flacco, ex-Super Bowl winner, coming in against all odds at 40 years old, still balling. This ain't Cooper Rush. He's a career backup. And if he was better than Dak, or even what this stupid stuff that Dak is saying, that Dak Delusional is saying, that Jerry and Mike McCarthy is saying, they're both liars. Because I'm not paying Dak Prescott $60 million if him and Cooper Rush are the same. It's just a situation. What do you mean by that? Man, if I was Dak Prescott, I'd be... You don't hear this nonsense on any other team. It's just the Cowboys. That's on you, coach, if everything is bad before you hit the field. Nisi, we're getting beat in the coaching room. We're getting beat in the coaching room. The preparation is terrible on this team. Bring in Bill Belichick for head coach. Well, I tell you this, they bring in Bill Belichick, it's going to be some serious discussions because Bill Belichick ain't coaching none of these situations. That's it, Andre. Just don't lose the game. And that's got to be the game plan. No turnovers. You're exactly right. We're going to run the ball. We're going to go heavy ground and pound. There will be some drives where we're not even going for necessarily. If we can't run the first down, we're not going to throw it. Bottom line, we're just not going to throw it. We're going to grind it out. And if we can get Brandon Aubrey 4, 5 field goals and Mike Zimmer do his thing on this injured offense for the Eagles, mark my words, you can get out of here with a 20-7 win. We can get out of here with a 15-7 win, 15-6 win, 15-13 win. We can get out of here, mess around and get 1 touchdown on the ground, maybe 2. Oh, you can get out of here with a win. You can. You can win this game. Oh, yeah, I've seen him on other places too, Jay Recruiter. Jerry is Dak's puppet, just like Jason Garrett, Circus Delay. You know what? I don't think Jerry is Dak's puppet. Jerry doing his own thing, bro. This team also needs to come out fast after the half. If I was this team, I would actually have 15 plays ready to come out at the half. 15 plays to say, no, we're not going to do this again. We're not going to fall behind again. We're not going to do this again. We're going to come out in this second half. And really, if I don't even have 15 plays, but see, here's the problem. If there's one thing that everybody knows that Dak is like top 5 in, it's 2-minute offense. So you just got that taken away from you. Because Cooper ain't going to run that 2-minute like Dak. But what I would do, I would just keep it steady. I just say run the ball. Run the ball and see where it gets you. Run the ball. Run the ball. We are speaking of the game plan, not the quarterback. They were able to run Cooper Rush because he wasn't falling behind. He wasn't falling behind because of the defense, Dak. You keep defeating your own arguments. You're defeating your own arguments. I just showed you. What else do you need to see? When you can hold every team to below 15 points, man, you can beat anybody. And they ran the ball. That's how they helped Cooper Rush out. They ran the ball, and it was defense. Your name fits you. You just need to mark Dak off the front of it. I don't listen to the clown circus, bro. Yes, no doubt. Micah, Mitch Roman, appreciate the super chat. $5 super chat. Rush had a lot of help from the defense, and that's something we don't have now. Mitch, I just explained this. I don't know when you came in. I just explained this. And folks still keep beating their head against the wall. No, it was all Cooper Rush. It was all Cooper Rush. It was all Cooper. No, it wasn't Cooper Rush. He helped. He helped. But if your defense can hold every team below 15 points, you're going to win a lot of games. I don't care who you are. You're winning a lot of games. There's a reason why the Baltimore Ravens with Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl. There's a reason why the Baltimore Ravens with Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl. It's not saying that they didn't have some games where they played well, that they didn't make some throws. It's not saying any of those things. But when your defense is holding teams below 15 points, you're winning a lot of games. See, some folks, they're just emotional. They deal in hatred. But I'm going to show you something, and then I'm going to get out of here. But if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs this year, you know why they're winning games? Immediately everybody goes, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, because he's the best thing since sliced bread. He gonna win. He gonna eclipse Tom Brady. He's going to eclipse Tom Brady in Super Bowls. Okay, let's slow down. I like Patrick Mahomes too. Let's let the man finish out his career before we make every proclamation of who and what he's going to be. Let's slow down on that. But when you look at what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing this year, it is absolutely amazing when you look at the fact they are beating teams because their defense is stopping teams from scoring more than 2 touchdowns on a regular basis. Just look at what they're doing. Baltimore Ravens, 27-20. Bengals, 26-25. Falcons, 22-17. The Chargers, 10 points. Saints, 13 points. 49ers, 18 points. Raiders, 20 points. The Buccaneers was the first team this season to really come in and take it to them. The Buccaneers, man, I'll give them credit. And I'm gonna give what's it, Baker Mayfield? Man, let me tell y'all something. Boy, if y'all watch that game, that Monday night, Baker Mayfield balled out with no weapons, man. He balled out, but his defense was solid up until that fourth quarter when Andy Reid said, enough playing. I'm about to unleash Kareem Hunt on you. Because had they not unleashed Kareem Hunt, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another team that's extremely well coached. And when you're extremely well coached, you can beat a lot of teams in the film room. You can beat them in the playroom. You can beat them before you ever even touch the field. You can beat a lot of teams like that, man. A lot of teams like that. And so when you have that type of thing going on, man, you're hard to beat. And I'm telling y'all, man, Andy Reid is beating teams in the film room. And then he's making these on-the-fly adjustments that are just amazing. And we're wanting the Cowboys to come in here and do some of these things. And maybe they can do it, but they haven't showed us yet. They really haven't showed us yet. I hope they do. I hope they do something they haven't done. Yeah, it's not the same defense. I've been saying this. It's not the same defense. Now, I'm going to give Zimmer some credit. I think Zimmer's going to do some things. But Zimmer's got his work cut out for him. Cam chilling. What's going on? Too pathetic right now. Might as well wait for next season. I'm going to come back at around 5, and we're going to continue on with this part of the discussion because I'm going to take it into the next part of the discussion because I think it deserves to be a conversation. What is the fan base going to look like if Cooper Rush does come in here and win 4 games? A fan base that already hates Dak Prescott. A fan base that already thinks he's overpaid. A media that absolutely loves to feed on the failures of one Dak Prescott. What is this going to look like? These are some things that really need to be talked about because I know some people say we'd love to have that problem. I think the media would love to have that problem. But this is a serious, and I'm not worried about it. Let me stop saying it's serious. Cooper Rush is not about to come in here and turn the season around. We got to stop even thinking on those terms. But there are some serious ramifications, though, if Cooper Rush does, because I think I'm going along with something that Nisi said, because it's an indictment. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm going to fire every one of these coaches. Because if you're going to do some things with Cooper Rush to help him win that you're not going to do with Dak Prescott to help him win, all of y'all are fired. Because that's why I paid the quarterback. I paid the wide receiver because I want y'all to win with them. It'd be great if they can win, but it's a lot of things we still need to talk about. I'm gonna be out of here right here. I'm going to finish these comments and I'll let y'all go. By signing them so late, the Jones took all the morale out of this team before the season ever started. Yes. Not to mention they wasted a ton of money on the salary cap. My cuz states the facts. Appreciate you, Danny. Cam Chillin said, can't do trick plays with this team. Better not do trick plays. Yes, better not. The only person who called their own plays was Peyton Manning. He was with the Colts. Peyton Manning was cerebral. And that's why when he says that Dak Prescott is cerebral, I believe him. Cam Chillen says need better receivers. Most important, we need cornerback. Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland's not playing again. So them not having their wide receivers evens out. Trade Micah Parsons to Trayvon Diggs. Too late. I was hoping they were going to do that by the trade deadline. And I think there were a team. I just wonder who it was. They called about Micah Parsons. Could have been a new Herschel Walker trade. Diggs has 3 or 4 more years. You better be careful. Trayvon Diggs keep playing the way he playing. He might be out of here. Jerry won't waste his money with Diggs. Yeah, I don't think he'll re-sign him. No doubt. Trade Michael for a King's ransom. I said the same thing, Lewis. But we missed it this year, and I think they're going to wind up signing him. And as a matter of fact, there's an article. I'll bring it up in the next one. I'll bring it up in the next session. Micah Parsons talks about why he loves Jerry Jones. And I think Jerry Jones loves Micah Parsons because they're one and the same. He just got paid, remember? Yep. Dowdle and Ferg need to have a big game to have any chance of winning. No doubt. Because they're going to take away the outside. So if you run the ball, you bring those linebackers up, there may be some seam routes. There may be some seam routes to Ferg. So I'm with you. I appreciate you, Danny. Parsons is a selfish sometimes. That's one of the very reasons why I would have traded him. But I think Jerry likes the publicity that he brings to the team, and I don't think he's going to get rid of him. Jesus says, Jesus saves. I'm sorry. Don't bring Dak back. Let him heal. Cooper Rush wants to win. I'm going to give you, let him heal. Cooper Rush wants to win. I think they all want to win. But I think with Cooper Rush, when you start talking about the storylines, I think as a backup quarterback, I'll be honest with you, I would not want a backup quarterback who didn't want to be a starter. And so maybe Cooper Rush, if I'm not mistaken, that deal is up again at the end of the season. And maybe this is Cooper Rush's last chance. Maybe it's his last chance that maybe there's a team out there that would maybe give him a chance as a bridge quarterback. Bring in Cooper Rush, let him play a couple of years, and then put a rookie up under him. Cooper Rush, he's a good guy, seems to be a great man. I think he's a well-studied individual. I think he knows the game. Wouldn't be surprised if Cooper Rush became a coach in this league in the future because I think he knows the game. I mean, you have no choice. You watch it all the time. You're watching film. You're helping the starting quarterback, even though you're not playing. You know the game. Even Tony Romo says you may know the game. It just doesn't translate on the field. He said that about himself. So Cooper Rush, maybe he could be a bridge quarterback. Because we're going to talk about Trey Lance when we come back this evening, because I can tell you now, Trey Lance, Jerry Jones may want Trey Lance to be the backup going forward rather than Cooper Rush. Trey, here you go, Andre. Trey Lance will play a factor in this game with the packages they will put in for him. Jerry's been alluding to it. Dak just got paid too. He ain't going nowhere. Dak will lose games playing or not playing. I don't even know what that means. Louis said Michael Parsons can't stop Barkley from running because he plays the wrong position. Should be playing linebacker. We acting if Rush gets stuck on one receiver like Dak. No, he goes through his progression. You didn't watch those games. This is how I know you didn't watch those games. They took the progressions away from Cooper Rush. They gave him one read and throw. That's it. That's all they gave him. That's how I know they even talked about this during that run. They dumbified the playbook. You don't give Cooper Rush 5, 6. You don't give him 4 reads. You give him 1. He's not there right here. It's called play design. Main receiver, we got another receiver right here. He's open. Watch what I tell you. Watch the game. Dak, you're not watching the game. You're still talking about Cooper Rush. We stuck with Dak. I don't think we're stuck with Dak. I think Dak's a great quarterback. They just need to put weapons around him like everybody else does. Jesus saves. You don't have to question the play calling. It's terrible. Jerry Jones seems to have just a touch of dementia. There seems to be something going on with him lately. He off the chain. Dak can't throw most of the time. If you're talking about the pressure, he definitely can't. Depends on our record if he comes back. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. When Dak was playing, I would see players wide open. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to agree with you to this degree. I talked about it before. The one problem Jesus saves, and I love your name, the one problem I had with Dak Prescott this season, he was pressing too hard to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb. And I think some of that's Jerry Jones upstairs talking noise to Micah Parsons, talking to Mike McCarthy downstairs, because the game against Pittsburgh, and I even heard some people talking about it this morning, the Pittsburgh game is the blueprint. When they let Dak go all over the field where he wanted to go, and he didn't let CD be his primary receiver, even with those turnovers, they dominated and they won the game. The last throw wasn't the CD, it was the Tolbert. They won the game. But the Joneses don't believe in that. They believe the people who make the money should make the plays. And if you're going to force Dak Prescott to throw to CeeDee Lamb, this is the result. I hope they change that. I don't think he's scared, Cam. I think he's looking too much for CeeDee Lamb because he knows CeeDee Lamb is either going to throw a fit or there's going to be some backlash from the coaching staff because of Jerry. I know he's not Dak. Let's hope he can go win. That's what matters. Run the ball. I can solve it for you. Run the ball. Nah, Dak can read too well. Dak knows what's going on. Doesn't matter who the quarterback or coach is. We have to deal with Jerry Jones. Statement of the day. Dak, Kim, and Jesus sound like Dak haters. They're only Lamb, but Lamb can't catch in double coverage. Hard for anybody catching double coverage. Nah, Dak's not sad. No. Cooper Rush has a bad game. Do you put Trey Lance in, and do you think he has success? Andre, I'm about to say something that a lot of people not going to like, and I'm going to talk about it. Nah, Dak's not overrated. Problem is he's underrated. I know he's not Dak. The Trey Lance question. I think we're going to see Trey Lance regardless. And I'll be honest with you, this is Cooper Rush's last season. I like Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is not playing. I'm giving this fan base Trey Lance. That's exactly what I'm giving this fan base. I'm not even going to entertain 4-0 with Cooper Rush. I'm not even going to entertain 3-1 with Cooper Rush. There are 2 games you can circle on that schedule. They're not winning. They are not beating the Washington Commanders. That team is way too good. We're not going in Washington. They're way, way too good unless they suffer 5 injuries between now and then. Dan Quinn has that game circled. He knows how terrible Mike McCarthy's play calling is. And Dan Quinn, you think Dan Campbell came and did the thing? No, Dan Quinn's going to destroy him. And we're just not coached good enough to beat the Houston Texans. And I question whether or not we're going to beat Philadelphia with Kellen Moore. Cowboys should definitely have a package for Trey Lance. Need to see what he can do. I think he just needs to finish out the whole season if Dak doesn't come back. Michelle said he's a stalker. Gotcha. Come on, Cowboys wasn't winning those games with Dak. They think they're going to win them with Cooper Rush for some reason. Cowboys have no chance of defeating the Eagles, Texans, or Commanders. I just said it, Wendell. I just said it. Don't sleep on the Giants, too. 1-3 at best, bro. I just said it. You can book it. They're not beating the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn's going to beat the Cowboys like a drum because he's mad at Jerry. He's mad at Mike McCarthy. He's mad at the team. And I think Jerry made him promises that he was going to be the head coach if he kept hanging around. Never got him the players. Dan Quinn is going to show Jerry, this is what I look like if you would have gave me the players. You're going to beat them like a drum. Running the ball sounds good. However, they can't run block. Yes, they can. Don't run up the middle. Run left, run right, sweeps, all those things. But I'll tell you this, the run isn't just to be successful at it. It's also so you'll give Cooper Rush time to throw the ball because you keep committing. You'll keep committing to the run. I'm wondering if the coach for Dallas watching other teams' films to gain some insight. He did it last year. He won't do it this year. She's so right. The Cowboys already have a problem with running the ball on first down, and every team knows it. Got their work cut out for him, Lewis. She is so right. It's all about the third quarter. What's going on, Angie? I'm about to get off, but I'll be back at around 5:30. Dak delusional is delusional. Yeah, we can see that. Greatest showman. Appreciate you, Andre. Appreciate you. I'll be back this afternoon. Cooper Rush was not F up. He did his job as a backup, nothing more. I love it, CL. I said the same thing. What else do we want? He's a backup, man. He's supposed to win games. I mean, that's what he's supposed to do. Kansas City winning because of their defense. Yes, that defense is ferocious. Great show. God bless you, sir. Appreciate you. I'll be back at 5:30. Dak delusional troll. Don't waste your time. Got you this time. That OC got Baker looking good. Woo! Michelle, I give Baker a game ball. That boy balled out. I think the Cowboys are making a mistake by not playing Trey Lance for the rest of the season. 100% with you. We're going to get back on that same topic when we come back, and I'm going to show y'all what Dan Orlovsky said, and we'll see if James Jones, we won't be able to play it because they don't let you use their stuff, but we're going to see if James Jones gives a full apology to Dak Prescott, and then we're going to talk about this thing some more about the Trey Lance, Cooper Rush issue, and should we win? Because we need to be thinking about the draft coming up next year. That's going to do it for me. That's going to be my time. I'll see y'all around 5 or 5:30. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.